backing yourself in recovery. Just to let you know who I am, I'm Ashley Bloxham. I'm an addictions therapist, but I also specialise in trauma and childhood. I've overcame addiction and I've also studied it right up until PhD level, and I also know what it's like to have a loved one who's struggling. So today's topic is backing yourself in recovery. It's so important that when we are in recovery that we learn how to love ourselves, put ourselves first, and put boundaries in any obstacle which is going to be in our way, whether that's a person, whether it's going to a certain place, whatever it is, we need to be able to be boundaried. So backing ourselves is accepting the fact that there is going to be certain triggers, and also that we deserve the life that we're aiming for. So if we think about ourselves as deserving, then what we will do is we will do anything and everything to protect ourselves on our recovery journey. Unfortunately, that does look like taking a step back from people. It also looks like not doing certain things that we used to do, not going to certain places. And it might also look like taking other precautions. So when I stopped my addiction from ketamine, I also stopped drinking alcohol because I knew that if I have alcohol, I'm going to be more likely to relapse because everything gets a little bit loose when we have a drink. So it's about backing yourself and thinking, okay, if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to get sober, I'm going to quit the addiction, whatever it is, then I need to do everything and anything to get there, which means I've got to back myself in decisions. And backing yourself in a decision also means not allowing yourself to back out. We all have these little voices in addiction recovery where we think, oh, well, it'll be okay. I'll just, I know I'm going to find it hard, but I'm just going to do that anyway. And we all know that actually it doesn't work. It's not helpful. So when we think about also backing ourselves, it's important that we have a good enough relationship with ourselves to think that we deserve it. So I've spoke about deserving, and that looks like reminding ourselves that one, we're capable. Two, reminding yourself that you're worthwhile doing this. It's reminding yourself that, like, I am worthy and I'm worthwhile, and I know it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to back you the whole way. And that looks like being kind to yourself. It looks like saying nice things to yourself. And it looks like backing yourself when maybe you're second guessing whether you should be around certain people or putting certain boundaries. I'm going to see what people are saying. Hi, Martin. How are you doing? Hi, Tara. Tara. So yeah, so it's important that we back ourselves with certain situations. So one of the biggest things that I've had to do, and certain people have spoken about on the lives, is remove myself from certain people. And that might be temporarily. It might look like changing the dynamic. So backing yourself enough to say, I can still be your friend, but not in that capacity. Or I can still see you, but not while we're having a drink. So yeah. Just gonna check in. Hello, everybody. Hi. Layla, hi. Oh, Tara said hi again. How are we doing? And Rula, I'm from School of Hard Knocks. I've had a few hard knocks as well. I've been schooled in that's for sure. So yeah, so we have to back ourselves enough to start asking the question, is it me or is it them? Because realistically, every time we're putting ourselves in a position where we're allowing maybe somebody's got an addiction and we think, all right, I'm just going to spend some time with them. Essentially, you're choosing them over yourself. So if you put in a boundary and say, I can be friends with you or I can spend time with you, but only if these certain conditions are present, aka the drug of choice isn't there, the alcohol isn't there, then as a good friend, they should respect that. So it's really important that you recognise that if they don't, and you just allow it to happen, you're choosing them instead of yourself. And this is what I mean. We really need to back ourselves and we need to do whatever it takes to get to where we need to be. Right. Let's see what people are saying. Amelia, by the way, I'm a therapist and addictions counsellor. So if anyone has any questions around addiction or mental health, ask away and I will do my best to answer. Jesus is not a god and he wasn't crucified. There's actually a book called The Who Moved the Stone, which shows that Jesus was a legit person who was crucified, but they don't know if he was the son of God or not. I'm from Newcastle. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Yeah, that's so true. You know, the thing is, if we've got a group of friends, like it's a good to take stock of our friends will say a lot about who we are as a person. It might say that we tolerate a lot of BS. If our friends aren't treating us with respect, then that means that we probably don't have very good boundaries. If our friends are really lush and encouraging and emotionally intelligent, then that's probably because you are. They're a reflection of us. So yeah, that's so true. Hi, Attorney Secure Rocker, how are you doing? It's Attorney Secure Rocker saying, hey everyone, I can't stay long, I have to work. Thanks for showing your face anyways. And I hope you have a nice time at work. Can you say happy birthday to my friend Nick Guru? Happy birthday, Nick. I broke up ENMA Jazz. I don't know what that means. Malone from Mars, what does that mean? I need a little bit more context. Yeah, so one of the, who was it? Kane was saying was about show me your friends and show you your future. Yeah, it's really important that we take stock of who's in our life and what's going on in our life. Guys, we only live once, and if we're struggling in an addiction, there's a high chance that there's some things. Addiction stems from something in our past. We're self-medicating, but there's also a high chance that there's stuff going on in your life which isn't great, which is keeping us stuck. And it might be our friends, it might be the job we're in, it might be that we're super stressed and we're taking on too much. But if we're struggling in an addiction, it's really helpful to take stock of what's going on in your life, and not just addiction, with mental health. See what kind of stressors are in your life. Yeah, it's cold here, Samuel. It's freezing. Hi, Psychedelic, how you doing? How was the date? And decorating. I know you said you got some money to do your decorating. Yeah, so I think our environment is always a reflection of what's going on inside. And one of the biggest things I did when I got sober was when I got sober, it was almost like the veil was lifted. I'd been numbing myself out, and then I got sober and I was like, oh wait, there's quite a few things in my life which need to change. And I'm not saying that we need to, wave a magic wand and change it overnight, but it's good just to have a look and think, okay, my life's a bit of a mess right now, and it's been a mess for quite some years. That's why I've been struggling in addiction. And again, it's the same for mental health. It doesn't need to be addiction, but there's some things which aren't so great going on in my life, and I don't need to change it all, but I can certainly take a look at what isn't so great. And the first place we could start is looking at ourselves, like what have we contributed to the life that we're living? So if it's certain friendships and stuff, we can say, well, am I allowing people to treat us a way that isn't that great? Or if we're in a job that we don't like, it's because whatever's going on in it, it's like, am I perhaps not putting in boundaries with work? Or am I sitting in a job that actually isn't in alignment with who I am? So just start taking stock of your life. And when you realise what's not working, back yourself enough to try and make changes. Right, let's see what people are saying. Jared. Oh, hi, Jared. I'm sure you've been here before. I drank 1 to 2 drinks every day for 4 years, mostly because of my job, but it became an addiction and I look forward to it too much. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's so normal as well to come back from work and say, oh, I'm just going to have a glass of wine to try and wind down, and we can get in this habit, can't we? But yeah, this is the thing. If we're not happy in our lives, it's very easy to slip into addiction. And I'm not saying that's the cause of it. For some people it is. But it's certainly not going to be helpful if we really don't like what's going on in our lives when we want to come out of it. Because to have successful addiction recovery, we need to be working to build a life that is going to be worth more than the life we have when we're struggling in an addiction. Jared, if you don't mind us asking, obviously you don't have to reply, but if you were going to give any tips to anyone who's struggling in an addiction, what would you say? I quit when I needed brain surgery and I've never gone back. I love that for you. I'm glad you've been able to do that, because I know quite a few people who's had like health scares and it's not been enough to be able to stop. So that's amazing that you've done that. Adam, Bix forget a job. What does Bix forget a job mean? Hope you're doing great. Muta saying, I am doing good, thanks. I wasn't on this morning because my son has been quite unwell. But if anyone's got any addiction or mental health questions, feel free to ask and I will do my best to answer. Hi, how are you doing, Carl? Yeah, so again, going to looking at where do we start? So say we've taken stock of our life and we're thinking, okay, I've realised maybe I've got some helpful things, like friendships in my life, maybe my romantic relationship, if I'm in one's not right, maybe I don't like my job. It can feel really overwhelming, because if we feel like we don't like our life, we always feel like we're stuck, and actually we're not. And that doesn't mean you've got to go and just rip your whole life down, but what it does mean is, okay, I know that there's things that I want to change. Now, if I think about that change as the end goal, what can I do? Just little things every day to work toward that change. So we can start to just do little things. And, if, say, for instance, we don't like our jobs, maybe it's about thinking, okay, what job would I like? So, I don't know, say you want to be a podcaster or something, then you can say, okay, I'm going to go and do a course on podcasting. I'm going to go and learn about it. So we can start to make little tiny changes and they'll stack up. So it's not about necessarily, okay, my life's shit, I've got to change it all tomorrow, but it's just making little steps to get toward that life. Samuel, mentally, I believe we already know the future, so break loops. I did a ritual to break free of excuse behaviours. Yeah, I think I kind of always had a sense of what I was going to be doing. I always knew a kind of overall sense, and I also know that I felt out of alignment with it, definitely. And I think that's the thing, even if we don't know exactly what the future is, like whatever our future is, anything that we're putting energy into is just going to continue. If we keep putting energy into like negative relationships, then we're just going to keep getting negative relationships. We've got to, like, we are going to predict our own future from how we're behaving today. So if we want a different outcome, then we've got to start to change things internally, and whether that's with rituals or whether it's just intention or just doing different, it needs to change, because it is just going to continue. Big Gabes, hope you're having a great day. Thank you. Hope you are too. How has everyone's day been? Samuel, affirmative, said I clear outcomes that I declare to come true. Yeah, I think that's the thing, like, we do declare anything that we have all these beliefs, subconscious beliefs, and we all act in accordance to our beliefs. And if we keep doing that and we don't actively try and change them, we are just going to keep continuing the same cycles. Nice rings, thank you. They're quite sentimental. That was my nana and granddad's eternity ring, and that used to be my own engagement ring. I got it 3D printed. That is the world we're living in today. Hi. Guess the toughest question is, how do you stop deferring decisions till rock bottom? I think we need to ask ourselves, I think asking yourself that question in general is like, when we're on a path to rock bottom, we're just continuing, like we're not really stopping and trying to make change, like we're just in autopilot, we're just doing the same thing every day. So the first step is recognizing that we're on a path to rock bottom. The second is asking yourself, why are you on a path to rock bottom? So I think for most people, if we're being self-destructive, it's usually because we don't see ourselves as worthy in whatever way. We don't believe that something different's possible. So it often starts with starting to believe in ourselves, because if we truly loved ourselves, we wouldn't just keep going back down, going further and further into rock bottom. If we loved ourselves, it's not about just like, oh, I need to stop doing these behaviors. It's about, okay, why am I doing these behaviors, and what behaviors would I be doing instead if I really loved myself, and then trying to proactively do it. And it's not about saying, oh, I'm going to stop the thing that's taking us down to rock bottom. It's more about, okay, I'm going to try and change my relationship with myself, because realistically it's myself that is allowing me to go to rock bottom, because there's clearly some belief system or something I'm not happy with in life. Samuel, you are the best channel on social media lately, giving positive reinforcements. Everyone seems to be addicted to excuses. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I used to give so many excuses. I still do. Like with my vaping, I make loads of excuses why I'm going to stop. But what I've stopped trying to do, instead of trying to stop, I'm trying to work on the reason why I started in the first place, which is my nervous system. So for me, vaping, my nervous system's just, I really struggle to relax and calm myself down. So it's just about, yeah, not making excuses, but not berating ourselves as well. But thank you for the comment, by the way, Samuel. I appreciate that. Mister, how you doing? Nice to see you again. You get to choose where rock bottom is. Stop digging when the pain gets too great. Yeah, sometimes as well, we do need to let the shit hit the fan. Because the thing is, one of the things that I think I struggled with is I was really functioning. I was such a functioning addict that I didn't really, I felt like, oh, everything's fine. So that wasn't really helping. So it was harder to take those looks at myself. I think when I started relapsing when I got pregnant, and then again when I had a child, you know, then it started thinking like, shit's really hitting the fan now. I'm really going to have to start looking at myself and trying to do differently. Hi Duncan, the English gent, how are you doing? Yeah, Duncan said please like and subscribe. It's free and helps this awesome channel. Yeah, please do subscribe, it's helpful. Wendy's, whereabouts are you from, hon? I'm from Newcastle. By the way, if anyone's got any questions around addiction and mental health, do ask, because I'm just nattering on ears at the moment. Just monologuing. More rest and tea lately has been helpful. Reset and move forward in the day. Yeah, definitely. I've been having to relax a lot more. I've been quite up and down. I've been having bipolar episodes. I've just been cycling through them, but I've started stabilising, which has been good. But yeah, sometimes we do just need to rest and reset. I think we always feel, well, for me, I always feel guilty. It's something I've definitely been working on and getting better at. Oh man, relapsing. Yeah, so relapsing, if we've successfully stayed sober or stopped whatever the thing is, it's important to see what happened before the relapse. So use that as an opportunity to see what your trigger is. Also, sometimes when we really need to build our lives up around us when we're in recovery, ideally before recovery, before we leave addiction, but certainly after, or like in the early stages, we need to day in, day out be trying to build a life that's really worthwhile. Because if there's only one thing or one person, if that thing is removed from us, then the whole thing collapses. So for example, if you get sober because you get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if that relationship doesn't work, then that make us go back to the relapse. Or maybe we get a new job, and if that doesn't work out or it loses its shine, then it's likely we're going to relapse. So it's important that in our recovery that we're building up not just one thing but many areas in our life. So building up or working on the relation, like the friendships we've got in our life. For me, it's my son. I've got like a boyfriend who I really like. I've got an allotment. I've got hobbies. I'm working on my career. So if any one of those things happen, I've got all these other things to lean on, which I love in my life. So say, for instance, me and my partner break up, it's not going to end my world because I've still got all these other things that I love. So it's really important to make sure we're building up our life, because relapse can happen if one of those things comes out and everything else is either non-existent or a little bit rocky. But another thing is just looking at what's happened for that relapse. Like, are you taking on too much in your life? Have you got unhelpful relationships or something going on? So yeah, just taking stock, use it, don't berate yourself for a relapse, use it as an opportunity to learn and strengthen your life. Like relapse, look guys, our mistakes can be our biggest teachers as long as we are willing to see it that way, and not just, sometimes when we fail, we feel so much shame that we can't step out of that shame and think, okay, this is an opportunity to learn a lesson and do differently. And I think that's the same with anything in life. Don't tell Wendy, what a coincidence come across this live. I'm 3 years sober today. God bless you on your journey. I love that for you. 3 years is some shift as well. Don't tell Wendy, what is a tip that you would give to somebody who's struggling in an active addiction right now, since you're a recovery veteran? How goes the book? I've finished the first draft, and I've just done the contents page, like reshuffled it around and everything. And yeah, I'm giving it a space to breathe so that I go back to it on a fresh lens. But yeah, it's gone really well. I don't think it'll take us too long, which is exciting. The word that popped in my mind was barometer. There may be markers that crop up indicating things to come, bad habits, for example. Yeah, barometer is a really good idea. Like seeing it like a barometer. It's about checking every single area of our life and just totally tightening it. There's this book that I always talk about, which is so good, guys, called Atomic Habits, if you haven't read it. And he talks about the British cycling, I don't know if it was the Olympics, or there was like British cycling something or another. And what he said is, what they did is they started looking at every single area, and they started thinking, if I can just improve it all by 1%, so making sure that they've got the best trainers, the most aerodynamic coats, whatever. That's, I don't know, coats, aerodynamic coats sounds a bit large, but do you know what I mean? Like every tiny little detail, and just start tightening it. And if you think of your life like that, when you're wanting to stop, you can still start tightening everything up. But when we come out of it, don't just think about, okay, I've got rid of the addiction, now everything's great. No, there's a reason why we had the addiction. We need to start making sure that our lives are airtight, and just start tightening up all the loose ends in our life, making sure that everything just levels up bit by bit. And then you'll get to a point where you're like, what's their name? Don't Tell Wendy, where you're 3 years deep and you're like, wow, I'm doing it. I'm actually living whatever your addiction was, free life. And it's so good. But we need to be making sure that we're really just every day working on the quality of our life, so that, and our connections, so that we can sustain that recovery. You are so kind. I still feel quite new in my journey, and every day I learn something new. I think what helped me the most was taking it day by day. Just for today helped me greatly. I love that. Yeah, it is just taking it day by day. But I'm going to challenge you, Don't Tell Wendy. I feel like you're not just taking it day by day, because you've also said every day I learn something new. So it sounds like you're taking it day by day, but you're also consciously doing that. So each day you're just like, okay, and what am I going to learn today? How am I going to show up for myself today? Because I think taking it day by day sounds a little bit, oh God, woo-woo. But it is a case of taking it day by day, but also just leveling up little bit by little bit, which it sounds like you're doing an amazing job of, Wendy. don't, have I missed someone out? I feel like I've missed some people's comments out. I'm just going to scroll back. Cure said, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Attorney Secure Rocker. Ashley, have you tried increasing your vitamin D3 intake during these times? It can really help. Dr. John Campbell from your area talks about it on YouTube. I've not seen him, but I do take vitamin D4, I think it is. I think, is it oh no, it is vitamin D3. Yeah, because you can take vitamin D and vitamin D3 gets absorbed better, doesn't it? But yeah, I do take that. I'm about to take melatonin, so I don't take medication for my bipolar, but I'm going to start taking melatonin for my sleep. So yeah. But yeah, I have D3 is brilliant, like Eternal Secure. Rocker says, especially for us English folk where it's bloody freezing. I've just pinned a comment, but I'll read it out. Eternally Secure Rocker was one of my amazing mods. It said, everyone, if you have any questions for Ashley, put them in all caps so she can see it. It's not considered yelling here. Yeah, it's not. Thank you. Oh man, I know what a relapse means. I just wanted to hear your story. Yeah, so my story. Okay, so I think for me, I had childhood trauma. So I think that's where it starts. So guys, when we think about addiction, it doesn't just start from when you became addicted. Addiction is, I say this all the time, but it's a solution to a problem. It's a way of self-medicating. So to go through my story and I'll try and do it fast. I experienced quite a bit of childhood trauma. I had undiagnosed mental health disorders, so ADHD and autism. Later, then, when I was 17, had my first bipolar episode, but I was unaware that's what it was. I also experienced sexual abuse. So my foundation was very rocky, not cool. And I discovered drugs when I was quite young. I think about 14, I started smoking weed. But then I moved to Ibiza when I was 17. And that's when I discovered party drugs, recreational drugs, and ketamine, which then went on to be my drug of choice. So then, yeah, and I just basically cycled through using all different drugs, didn't really have a sober day. And then eventually I ended up doing counselling training and I started unearthing all my traumas. And although I used recreationally, it then became an addiction and it became a very scary fucking addiction. So yeah, and I've managed to get sober after relapsing during pregnancy and twice when my child was, I think, 6 months. So once when he was about 3 months and once when he was 6 months. And I've now been clean for nearly 4 years. Yeah, that's my story. Relapsed a million times though. Every day I was going to stop for about 2 years, didn't. We've all been there. Scott, do you think addiction is a disease? No, I don't believe in that. I was taught that model. I think addiction is, there's certain people who are more susceptible to addiction. I think that addiction is always a symptom of something else going on underneath. Addiction is just a way of dealing, like coping with undiagnosed mental health disorders or physical health. Like for instance, there's a lot of people who say like I smoke weed because I've got a back problem or fibromyalgia. So it could be a physical health or most likely an emotional wound which hasn't been dealt with. Killian, you're absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Frank, kiss you, please. I mean, I don't know how that's going to happen. You're in a different screen, but I also have a boyfriend, guys. So, Samuel Jackson, double touch screen for the like button. Yeah, please give us likes and subscribes. That would be helpful. But if not, just thanks for showing up. Funny thing is that an addictive personality can be such a blessing when well aimed. Yeah, I'm addicted to my career now. But I have to, I do have to be quite boundaried with it. So I make sure that I only reply to comments and stuff on work days because I tend to get carried away with things. And that's the ADHD in us. Are you can you pin more than one comment? I can only pin. Right, I'm going to pin this comment. It's Eternally Secure Rocker said, would you like further help commenting on Ashley's content or YouTube videos? Yeah, I will get a notification and get back to you. Don't tell Wendy. Oh, you're too kind. I still feel... Oh, I've already read that one, sorry. New Year, I'm looking to see the book available in the new year sometimes. I'm not much of a reader, mostly audiobooks. I'd love to support this regardless. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to do an audiobook version of it because I'm an audiobook listener as well. Hebek, I quit cocaine when my wife told me she would break up with me if I did not. It's been 11 months now. We are happier than ever. I love that for you. I love that for you that you've managed to do that. And I think, yes, sometimes we need some motivation for it. And the fact that everything's working out for you is brilliant. I love that. I think so I call it a hook in addiction recovery. So it's about thinking about what is more important to me than the addiction and leading on that. And also by thinking about this other thing, you're not acting on your limbic system, so you're not just acting on impulse, you're thinking using your prefrontal cortex, which is really important for addiction recovery. It's stopping impulse and it's thinking long term. So using your wife as a hook is really good, and the fact that you're seeing the results is amazing. David Goggins. Why do I feel like I recognise that name? I don't know, SK, give us some more info. Right. Chris, how are you doing? Chris is one of my wonderful mods. Chris says, hello everyone, it's so good to know people are fighting towards freedom from addiction. Keep it up, keep pressing forward. Yeah, absolutely. And addiction is an unhealthy coping mechanism and it keeps you locked in and alone. It really does. It's such a lonely thing. The secret is to find something you're passionate about and roll with it. Keep fighting, yeah. And it is, having other things to be passionate about is so helpful in addiction recovery. In my early days, I didn't really know what to do, but I used to like writing. So I started doing like poetry, which sounds lame. But I also wrote an article and I thought I'm just going to try and write an article. I went to see if I could get it published. So doing something where I was winning, just thinking about what is it that I enjoy and kind of start to do it and feel like I'm winning. As often in addiction, we just feel like we're getting controlled by something and we don't feel like we're winning. For Hebek, he's doing it thinking my wife's my passion and he's winning. Now look, he's putting all that energy into that and he's doing great. Duncan, audiobook, great. Consider yourself won the sale already. Yeah, definitely. But you have seen us reading out comments. I don't know if my voice will be the best for it. I'll try, though. I'm so monotoned when I'm reading these comments out, being dyslexic. So funny, though. We can't all be perfect, can we? Please like and subscribe. Free and helps the awesome channel. Thank you, Duncan. Rick, locked in and alone. Locked in with what? Has anyone got any questions around addiction and mental health, guys? I'll try and answer them. It's Charlie and drinking. What do you mean and drinking? Did you say something before and I've missed it? And drinking? What do you mean by and drinking? How to break a habit? That's a good question. So first of all, hi Lewis, running channel, how you doing? I am good, thank you. So if we're breaking habits, first of all, get curious about the habit. So you can spend a week by just observing it. Also, read Atomic Habits if you read. Honestly, it's brilliant for understanding habits, breaking them and creating new healthy habits. First of all, get curious around the habit. So allow yourself to indulge in it. Allow yourself to indulge in the habit and just start to notice. Like, so you can set a time frame for this. So the first week I'm going to notice, see when you do it, what triggers, and what you're doing is you're starting to turn your prefrontal cortex online. You're starting to observe your behavior instead of just going through the motions, because a habit is something that we're doing unconsciously. It's a neural pathway. So first of all, observe it. Second of all, write a pros and cons list of it. So what's the pros of this habit and what's the cons of this habit? And again, it's engaging the prefrontal cortex. But when we look at the pros of the habit, start to think, okay, if these are the pros of the habit, but there's also these cons and I want to break it, what can I do instead? What is going to be achieve the same result, but going to be more helpful? So, for instance, doom scrolling, that was a really bad habit that I've got. And doom scrolling, it served a purpose. The pros of it was it allowed us some downtime. I felt like I could switch my brain off. I felt like I could have some laughs. So instead, I've just thought, right, okay, what can I get the same kind of thing out of, the same vibe, but in something more healthy, and then replace the habit? That's what I would say. It's Charlie, 12 steps, question mark. I've not done the 12 steps, but I know that a lot of people who have and say it's really helpful. I just went through a process of learning to love myself. Like, made a commitment that every day I would love myself. Every time I heard myself saying something negative, I would be like, no, not true. And work out why it's not true and replace that thought with a more helpful thought. I just became my own goddamn cheerleader. Just thought, I'm just going to start backing myself. It's Charlie. I tried it. I ain't got the mental legs for it. Do you mean the mental legs for AA? I am actually doing my own addiction group. I was meant to start this week, to be honest with you, but I've been having trouble sorting out my my studio, so I'm waiting to find out from the builder when my carpet's going to be fitted, because I was going to be vinyl. But if you want to support, I'm doing my own addiction group, and it's not anything like the 12-step program. I'm currently 90 days clean from ketamine. I've replaced the rabbit with fitness. I love that for you, Jake. Honestly, I was a ket addict. And the rabbit, I never thought about calling it that. Oh, how are you finding it then? And that's a good thing to replace it with. The brilliant thing with fitness is it makes you produce dopamine, but you also get a level of pain with it. Like it's uncomfortable for the body. So the reason why we have come downs and we feel so shit after is because when we have an upsurge of dopamine through whatever our addiction is, our brains always try and achieve homeostasis. So it kind of goes like down so it can balance out. So we get like this negative feeling. But if we do something which has a bit of a negative feeling attached to it, you don't come down. So that's like the gym, ice baths, saunas, something that's a little bit uncomfortable, or something that's a bit stress inducing, like learning a new skill. Robert, thanks for that bit, the habit information. It's quite okay, Robert. I would definitely suggest reading Atomic Habits or listening to it though. They're amazing. It's Charlie, relapse on the procrastination. What do you mean by relapse on the procrastination? Do you mean you've relapsed and you're procrastinating coming out of relapse? You're going to have to give us a little bit more context, so I'm not picking up what you're putting down, Charlie, properly. Ambassador, I agree with your views. Thank you. It's good to know we're aligned. I like your accent, so soft and nice. You should be a speaker. New job coming? Question mark. Yeah, I want to do speaking. I've been wanting to do TED Talks for years. It's on my list of things to aim for. That's another thing as well, guys, in addiction recovery. It's good to have goals. It's good to have goals because if we've got a goal, we can start to work toward it. So I've had that goal before I stopped my addiction. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, quite a few things, and I wrote them down, and I'd write them down in my diary, and I do it each year. And I just try and just do little things all the time towards that goal. Anytime I feel shit, do something toward the goal. Right. Chris, how can someone find out what they're passionate about if they have no clue? What is the best way you have found to guide people in that? Yeah. One of the best things we can do to find out what we're passionate about is look at our childhood. What did we used to enjoy doing when we were kids? I'm talking like primary school kids. So I used to love to teach. I used to have get my lamp and I'd stole a bit of what do you call it? That stuff that you used to write, overhead projector sheet film. I'd stole a bit of that and I used to shine up my wall and teach my teddies. So this is why it's really aligned, teaching things that I've learned. I like to share wisdom. I used to also boss my sister around and I was very bossy. I've always been quite leaderish. So I need something where I'm not working for other people, I'm working for myself. So just go back to when you were childhood. So what were the physical things that you used to like doing and what traits did you have? And then try and work out how that might be helpful. And if you don't remember anything that you enjoyed when you were a child, then the best thing to do is go out and try things. Or if you've got something that you're naturally talented at when you're a child. So I was naturally good at English. I was naturally good at art. So try do something like that. I don't know what you're saying, totalitarian. Sorry. Max, is this accent English or Scottish? English. But to be fair, it's quite close to the border. It's Newcastle. Jake has said, love what you're doing. Can I ask you a little bit about yourself and recovery? Yeah, so I had a ketamine addiction as well, Jake, but I cycled through loads of different addictions. I was quite bad for coke and alcohol. So if anyone has been like that, it was when I'd have a drink, the second I'd have a drink, I'm like, oh, I need a line. So I struggle with that. Had a very problematic on and off relationship with alcohol. But my recovery, yeah, I did recovery the hard way, I think. And I think that's why I'm trying to help people, because what I learned was helpful in my recovery was, one, loving myself and just being super kind and gentle with myself and giving myself a lot of grace. 2, learning about why I had the addiction in the first place. And 3, having a really solid support network around us. So just, yeah. Oh, hi, Blue Nose Addict. How you doing? Duncan, I know that feeling on the procrastination, Charlie. I find myself staring into a headlight like a rabbit, not sure how to break down the tasks and being overwhelmed. Yeah, I deal with that as well. I've got ADHD. I really struggle with procrastination. It's something I'm getting better at. It depends what it is. So I've learned a few different techniques. Sometimes the reason why I'm procrastinating on it is because I don't want to do it. So I just stop. So I was doing a podcast and it just wasn't resonating and I was procrastinating and I just thought it's because it's not aligned with who I am. So look at why are you procrastinating in the first place. So sometimes it's because it's not for you. Second of all, if it's something like tasks, boring tasks, try and break them down and just do the very smallest of things. So I've been meaning to do my stairs for about 3 or 4 weeks and it's been given as the ick and I've been procrastinating. So I thought, right, I'm going to just put the Hoover on the stairs. So that's one little step. And then I'm going to go and do whatever I was doing. The next time that I go there, I'm going to pick the Hoover up and do it. Then I'm going to steam it. And so just do one easy task, part of the task, and praise yourself every time you do it. If it's something big, look at why. Is it a belief system? So if you're procrastinating on doing something, I don't know, so like making a big life change, then look at what's holding you back. Is it a belief system that you're not good enough or whatever? But just try and work out what it is. But yeah, it happens to a lot of it's a hard one. Going back to Xmas decorating, says Chris. As always, thank you for coming on, being real. Takes courage and it means you're on the right track. Thanks, Chris. I'm going to have to decorate my house for Christmas as well this weekend. I'm going to do it on Sunday. You'll get a subscribe from me. I'll catch you on next one. Be good to chat with you. Thanks, Jake. And good luck with the... How long did you say you were sober now? I can't remember. But yeah, good luck with that. You're doing great. And it was ketamine, wasn't it? I think it was 11 months. Ugh. So I'm actually getting really tired, guys. So I've not been on that for very long. But I'll do another few comments. I just thought I'm going to come on and just show my face. But when I start to get tired, I like to go because I don't like to just... I need my brain to be sharp for you guys, so I don't want to be giving you loads of bollocks that you don't need. Right. Dan, was you a prison officer? No, I was not. I was a therapist. Dan, there's a reason you're not married. Yeah, I mean, I believe in marriage, but I've just been really careful about who dating. So I was in a long-term relationship and I've got a son with him, and it didn't work out. I think we've been together since we were very young, and yeah, it wasn't working. But I've been very intentional about who I'm dating, so I've not been scared to walk away, and I've walked away from quite a few situations. So the reason why I'm not married is because I haven't found someone good enough yet. But I'm dating someone now. I'm actually in a relationship with recently moved into a relationship, and he's lovely. So yeah, that is that. Duncan, if I had to be honest, the reason I procrastinate is because 1, don't want to do it. Yep. 2, I'm scared of the future and it creates a safety cage, but it holds me back. So, it depends what it is that you do. Is it like... Trying to think about this. So when they're saying you don't want to do it, I'm wondering what it is. Is it like leaving a certain situation and you're scared of what that future will look like? So I've had situations like that. Like, for instance, the relationship with my son's dad that I was talking about. I knew it wasn't right. He's he's an amazing dad. Like, would never say anything bad about him. He's lovely, but it wasn't right for us, and I knew it wasn't right. And I kept trying to work, and I did everything on myself, and I was so scared of the future. But I think it was absolutely the best thing that I could have done for me and my son and him, realistically. So I think when we really know that something's not right for us, and it keeps it keeps screaming to us, I think the future may be scary. But one thing I learned, so if I'm honest with myself, that relationship wasn't right. You know, we didn't bring out the best in each other for a long time, and I was too scared to make that change. And I've ended up now being a single parent, because when I had a kid, I was like, right, this change really does need to happen. And then it just kept getting less and less aligned. So like, we can think, oh, well, I don't want to make that change because I'm scared of the future. But being in the same situation can make a scary future as well. Like, I'm now a single parent. If I'd left when I knew it wasn't right, I wouldn't be a single parent. Like, I love being a single parent. I love my child, but sometimes we think we're safe staying in the same situation, and that's not always true. Obviously, don't make rash decisions. Not rash, but bold. Yeah, life's too short. Right, let's see what else. Trent, you need to get on the crystal pistol if you're tired. What's the crystal pistol? Is that like slang for some kind of drug? Dan, you're a single mother. That's the worst. I love being a single mum, you know. I do. I mean, I don't love it for my child. I hate it's heartbreaking because he just wants his mum and dad all the time, and he always asks when's daddy coming to live here. He's asked if his daddy can live in the cupboard, for God's sake. Bless his little heart. I don't love it for him, but I do love being a single mum myself because it means I get to be a mum and it's just me and him against the world, and then I get the weekends to myself. And I know he's looked after and loved when he's not with us. So yeah. Trent, if the man's got Gucci slides, lock them down. I mean, that me bar is a bit higher than a set of slides. I don't, a little bit too superficial for what I'm looking for. Oh, God. I think a big heart is key. That's a big, kind heart. Right. The Silver Wanderer, you would look cute wearing headbands. I love headbands. I've got a few of them. I haven't had them out in a while. So yeah. I've got a little pea head, so I suit hats and headbands. But I think we're getting off track, guys. Need sleep. Good night and God bless. Good night, Duncan. Thanks for showing up again. Right, I'm gonna answer one more question and then I'm gonna go, guys. Accept social situations I struggled with and relationships, keeping friendships. In what way did you struggle with them? Is it like kind of being an introvert? Yeah, I've always struggled in social situations, but then always like at the same time thrived in them. And I've learned it's because I've got ADHD and autism. So the ADHD is like wild and I want to be like out socializing and just doing spontaneous stuff, and then the autistic inside of us is just like, oh, what do I do? I don't like socializing. So then I just turn to addiction and let the ADHD loose. Right, anyways, I'm gonna go, guys. I'm really, really tired. Accepted, just felt judged. I have mild autism as well. Oh, I'm not judging you. I was just talking about my own situation. Acceptable. Yeah, I think autism's my superpower, but it's also you've got strengths and weaknesses like everything, haven't you? Like every person has. But yeah, I wasn't judging you. All my favorite people, including myself, is autistic. Anyways, yeah, I am. I'm gonna go relax. Oh no, I mean other people, not you. All right, okay. This is me being autistic and not picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, I've constantly been misinterpreted my whole life. Acceptable, and I used to feel judged. I have been very much judged, and you know what it is? I've just learned to not give a fuck. Like, look at all these fucks I don't give everyone. Not one single fuck. And life just got so much easier. I just started masking. Yeah, my so-called friends, I had that and I realised that they're not friends. They're not good enough. If you're judging us, then you're not good enough to be in my life, because I don't judge people. Jay, how should a society balance individual freedom with collective responsibility when the choices of a few create long-term consequences for everybody else? I think that we all have the ability to live a free life, even though what you've said is absolutely true. And I'm living proof of that. I don't subscribe to bullshit. Like, I just don't. I just decide to focus on what makes us happy and do what makes us happy. No fucks given. I think a big part of why we're all so trapped is because we're all getting pushed into being this same one person. We all have to look a certain way. We all have to have a certain body type. We all have to do this 9-to-5 job. We all have to be polite and worry what people think and shrink ourselves and put ourselves in boxes, and we don't. And the more you just start doing things because they make you happy and following the joy, the less you get controlled by all of this bureaucracy anyways. I've found anyways. And my friends are the same. We just live happy little lives, no F's given. Duncan, do you want to be a moderator, by the way? Because I feel like you're doing it anyways. As Duncan said, please help and subscribe. It's free and helps this awesome channel. Yes, please do. Honestly, it does help. But I am going to go. I'll just say what Duncan says. Steve, that's easy. Do what you want whenever you want and F the consequences. Yeah, as long as we're being kind to other people and we're being kind to ourselves, do whatever the hell you want. It's really hard to step out of this box of giving a fuck what people think. I used to give too many fucks what people think all the time, and my life was horrible for it. And one of the best things that ever happened to us is I told people that I had an addiction. I got judged for it, and then I got shamed for it, and then it was the most liberating thing, because at the time it was awful, but what I realised is everybody already thinks I'm the scum of the earth. Like, everyone was calling us a disgrace. There was just like, they didn't understand addiction, and I'm not blaming them. I totally understand why they did what they did. And incidentally, I had felt the same about somebody who had addiction in my life, so I really do understand. But when you experience that amount of shame, it was so liberating, because I got to the point where I was like, well, everybody thinks I'm a fucking dick. Everyone's saying I'm a disgrace. Everyone thinks I'm the scum of the earth, so fuck it. Like, I can't do right for doing wrong at this point, so yeah, I don't care anymore. And it was so liberating, and the more I stopped giving a fuck what people thought, the better and better and better my life got. It really did. And I started attracting people who were the same. I started wearing things as that's what I wanted to wear. I started doing things, taking leaps of faith. Yeah, life just turned around. No problem. Oh, I'm going to put you... Thank you, Duncan. Add as moderator. There you go. Managing moderator. Thank you. I appreciate it. Paul, I can get out of it if... I can't get out of it. Can you help? My boss is just fed up. Have I missed what you said? This is so real. Okay. I do 11. I'm going to go back. I feel like I've missed the beginning. Subscribed and liked. Thank you for subscribing. I'm always tired as fuck. This is so real. I can't get out of it. Can you help? My boss is just F up. It's okay. What do you mean, Paul? I'm going to go because I'm really tired. But Paul, if you comment on any of my content, what you're on about, or just say support, I'll give you my email address and I'll try and give you a bit of support, because I'm not entirely sure what you're on about, but I really do need to go. And yes, Steve, Steve says I'm like that with work. I've stopped caring what people think. Yeah, and how much has life improved, Steve? I keep saying I'm gonna go and then I'm reading more comments. I do really enjoy being here with you guys. I'm like, my tired brain's clicking on, but then I'm like, oh, more comments. I love your vibe. I used to care, but who cares anymore? This opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day. I matter to me, and kindness matters. Yeah, and I think no F's given, and being kind to yourself go hand in hand. There's this song that my stepdad sent us, and it's called No More Fucks to Give, and it's like my fuck fuse has just blown. It's so funny. Listen to it, guys. It's like, it's so funny, but it's just about giving no more fucks, and it's something you've got to practice. If you're used to giving many fucks, you've got to learn how to ungive a fuck. But it's just little practices. But yeah, life is too short, and exactly what Carrie said, people are going to have opinions. What I learned is I used to bend myself, and I used to people please and do all these things, and it didn't matter what I did, I would still piss people off. So then it just got to the point where I was like, well, if I'm going to piss people off, I might as well at least be living a life that I'm happy with and do things for myself. Yeah, sleep for you, Duncan. I need to go to sleep myself. Good night, Duncan. Thanks for being a moderator. Steve, I have a laugh with the customers and tell them I couldn't give a fuck what the boss thinks. Yeah. Just like, life's too short to give a fuck what your boss thinks. Unless your boss is a mint boss and you love your job, like, Zien, could you please say bottle of water? Bottle of water, there you go. And what's this channel about, John? It's about addiction. But addiction, I think, is just a symptom of something else going on. So I'm a therapist and I just answer any questions around addiction and mental health. Tonight I'm just talking a bit of crap, to be honest. I'm a bit done in. But I am gonna go. I'm legit gonna go now. And I'm gonna end on one thing. It's a comment from Mark for anyone who's listening. One thing that will help you is adopting the mindset that is none of your business what people think about you. Yeah, I had someone called Gillian Fortune who did a course. She's amazing, and she used to say, "Mind your own business." And I hear her voice every time saying, "Mind your own business, Ashley Bloxham." So yeah, anyways, bye guys. And if you haven't given us a subscribe, that would be super helpful. If not, just thanks for coming, and I'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. I'm here Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. GMT time. And if I haven't picked up your comment, just comment on any of my content. And yeah, see you later. Bye. Oh yeah, and subscribe, as Carrie's just said. That was helpful.